boys and girls. Today I'm going to be talking about a lesson that I'm doing with our first graders. And it's one that is great for all ages though. So for my distance learners, if this is something that you have materials at home for and would like to partake, you're going to see a step-by-step creating a foreground, middle ground, background outdoor winter scene on a canvas. Now a canvas is fabric that many times is stretched around a wooden frame, okay? If you don't have a canvas at home, that's okay. You can do it on regular paper, okay? But I wanted to point out that you'll see that we're doing it on a canvas and that many times my artists in school here, we're starting by writing our names back here, November 2020, and then class code. Now, if you're at home, you don't have to do class code, okay? I want you to know when we're all done, though, we are going to add our initials to the front side, okay? Now, a few things that you're going to need. I recommend a table cover. I recommend 2 different size paintbrushes. Now, if you're like, oh, I don't have paint, you can do this lesson with crayons, markers, whatever materials you have at home. But today we're going to be using paint. These are flat brushes. You see how the tip is straight across, and you'll notice they're 2 different sizes, okay? We're going to be using the whole paintbrushes during this lesson as our resource, so make sure to have 2 of them, okay? For colors, you're going to be needing green, blue, just a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red, and lastly, black. I like to remind artists, and a paper towel as well, or a Kleenex or something to clean your paintbrushes off on, okay, boys and girls? But let's talk a little bit about foreground, middle ground, background. We know our pictures tell a story, so when I show you this simple winter wonderland picture, we can tell a few things. I want you to think in your artist's mind right now what you can tell when you look at this picture. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Is it winter? Summer? Okay, some of you are thinking, ooh, that dark blue in the sky lets us know that it's nighttime, and you see a moon, right? Now turn those artist eyes on even higher. I want you to recognize that we're going to use the white of the canvas, so I'm going to teach you a lot of artist tricks during this lesson. The white of the canvas, because you didn't hear me say any white when I listed off the colors we needed, did you? So we're going to learn some artist tricks. We're going to talk about and understand how to create foreground, middle ground, and background. As an artist and as a kindergarten artist, we talked a lot about the background line. When the land and the sky meet, right? It's also called the horizon line. Can you go ahead and say horizon line with me? Horizon line, good job. So that horizon line is going to be important for us with details. I want a large, medium, and small tree. And like I said, in the sky, a moon. Whether it's a full moon, a crescent moon, you can decide, okay? But go step by step with me. Don't be afraid to pause the video. And we're going to give you all sorts of artist tricks for making this winter wonderland scene. If you noticed the twinkling lights as well, and that made you think of nighttime, you are right on. All right, artists, pause the video, get set up, and then push continue. All right, artists, we are all set up. You've got your names on the back. Your canvas is prepped and ready. We know we're going to be using some artist tricks, and then our picture is going to be showing foreground, middle ground, and background. Now we also know that we're going to be using the white of the canvas. Boys and girls, what are we going to have that white of the canvas be? Who knows?
The snow.
Say it louder for me.
The snow.
The snow! You are correct. And what about up here? Did I paint white up there?
No.
No. What is that up there?
Moon.
The moon. Okay. So you have your blank canvases, and I want to go ahead before the paint comes out, and I'm going to show you your very first step. We're going to take, and you've got 2 paintbrushes, so if you're at home doing this with us, you're going to have a small paintbrush and a medium. These are both flat paintbrushes, so you can see the straight edges across the top there on those bristles, okay? And my painters that are live with me today, you're going to take and you're going to start with the clear handled paintbrush, all right? And what we're going to do is an artist trick for creating trees. Now, when we think of walking through a forest and seeing pine trees or evergreens or firs, what shape, when we squint our artist eyes, do we see with those trees? Triangles. So what I like to tell my kindergarten through third grade artists is to go ahead with that first tree, make 3 dots. You can leave a little space before the bottom. And I want you to make a nice tall triangle for me, spreading that paint out. Now today we are using acrylic paint. Go ahead and say acrylic paint. Very good. This is a fast drying paint that's an egg base, and it does not come out of your clothing very easily. So if you have long sleeves on, push those long sleeves up. You've got your paint shirts on, and I want you to be very careful when you're using it today. We're going to use nice long brush strokes to spread that paint out. And we're going to make sure we don't have globs, right? Spread that paint out. If you want to make little lines, you can. Okay? You can. Everybody's just watching right now so that you know what to do. For those that are painting at home with us, you can pause the video at any point in time. Now, I made one tree nice and close to us. This is going to be in our foreground. Go ahead and say foreground. Foreground. Now, I'm going to make a medium size. So this is my large tree. I'm going to make a medium sized tree. I'm going to do my 3 dots again. Okay, my 3 dots. Connect them. What shape am I making? Triangle. Filling in. You'll notice that acrylic paint is a little bit thicker than your tempera paint, right? Okay. And then I need to make my tree that's in the background. So I'm going to have large, medium, and small. Oops, I forgot to make my dots. Dot, dot. Alright, so far so good? Now we know that we are always going to brush that paint on the edge of our container, not go like this, because we want it to splatter. No, we don't want it to get any place that it doesn't belong. So right now, you're going to set down your paintbrush then when you're done with your small, medium, and large tree. Okay, artists, you may begin. Notice you've got quite a few colors on that paint palette. I want you to go ahead and start with that clear handle and start with your green. Alright, well those that are painting at home with us, like I said, you pause and unpause the video as necessary, okay? What you're going to notice is I'm going to switch back and forth between these 2 paintbrushes. This is something that we're doing in the art room. One, just to be resourceful with our paintbrushes. But at home it's nice too because it makes cleanup just a little bit easier for us, okay? When we're done with the green paint, we're going to have that blue paint handy because we need to make our background. Now we know we're using the white of the canvas, or if you're at home painting on paper, you're going to use the white of the paper, and you're going to create a horizon line. Go ahead and say horizon line. Good job, everybody. One more time. Horizon line. Now, that is a fancy art word for a background line. It's when the sky and the land meet. So when I dip in my blue paint, and I'm using my other paintbrush, right? I'm going to have mine be hilly. You can have yours be straight. It's up to you. But I'm going to go nice and close to that smallest tree that I made. You're going to see me make a wavy line. And when I run into that medium-sized one, I'm going to stop there. And I'll make an invisible line through the tree because I want it to be behind it, right? Go ahead and say horizon line. Alright. Then, I got some artist tricks to teach you, friends. One, I want us to make a crescent moon. Go ahead and say crescent moon. If you had to pick a letter that a crescent moon is close to, what would it be? A C. A C. So I'm going to start by making a really big C. And I'm going to connect it with a little c. Now, am I going to fill that in? No, I'm going to let the white of the canvas be that crescent C. My next job is to go ahead and go around my trees. And what you can do is pull the paint away from the tree. That'll help to keep it nice and neat. Get nice and close, but know that later on we'll be outlining and things will be nice and dry, so it's A-okay. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to get to fill in your sky. And just like when we're coloring with our crayons, I'm going to recommend going around the outside edges. So you've got all your space to fill in. You have a couple options. Nice long brush strokes. Pulling that paint across the canvas, back and forth. Or, some artists like to color in circles to fill in, to give it a little texture look. Do we want globs of paint, though? No. Alright, artists, you may go ahead and start filling in your sky. Make sure that white's only showing in the spots you want it to. And then I like to tell kiddos, when we think about the glow of that moon and the snow, sometimes it twinkles other colors, right? That snow. And to give off where our tree is sitting on, you might go ahead and draw a blue line or have a little curve to it. Totally up to you. You don't have to do that. But then, like we did with our green, we clean the blue off. All right, please go ahead and pause the video or unpause if you are working on or ready for the next step. Okay, artists, we're going to be extremely resourceful, and we're using that white of the canvas to be our what? What is the white on the canvas representing? Snow, good job. We've got our green trees, and we've got our blue sky, and we have the horizon line. One more time, go ahead and say horizon line. Now, you have two paintbrushes, and I want you to pick up the paintbrush that you used for your blue sky. We're going to flip it, and we're going to use this end to put twinkling twinkly lights on our trees. Now, we have a handful of colors. We've got green and blue, black, yellow, and red. Out of those colors, which color is the lightest color? Yellow. So we're going to take the tip, and this part I'm going to have you watch first before you do. I'm going to go ahead and dip in that yellow. We're going to dip in that yellow. And you're going to take it on your big tree. You're going to go ahead and you're going to put 5 dots. How many dots on our big tree? 5. You might find that it doesn't hold a lot on the end, so you have to dip more than once. Is that okay? You bet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to put 3 dots on our medium-sized tree. And just 1 dot on that little tree. Okay? Then you've got that paper towel. I want you to clean the yellow off. And we're going to go on to the red next. How many dots in my big tree? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many in my medium? 3. Now, if you have a larger paper at home and your trees are bigger, you might find you fit more. How many in the smallest tree? 1. Again, we're going to clean off the end of that paintbrush. And then we're going to use that blue. We're going to use that blue. How many dots in the big tree? 5. Okay. I had a question up front. What's your question, sir? Uh-huh. I love the math that's happening. So boys and girls, you're going to use the end of your paintbrush to create twinkly lights on your tree. You may go ahead and do so now. Nope, we're going to wait for that black. Black's going to be the very last question, but that was the very last color, but that was an excellent question. So as you can see with your artist tricks, that foreground, middle ground, background is starting to appear. You've got some fun extra details. We know that dark blue sky with the moon in it tells us that it's nighttime. And the twinkly lights help to reinforce that. Because during the daytime, can we see twinkly lights is good? Yeah. When the sun is shining, if I had lights on the trees outside right now, would we be able to tell they're on? No. So we have all these clues that we've given our viewers that it's nighttime, right? The last step, you're going to pick up your smallest brush you have. And I want to review with you. What did I do with my paper towel? I want to review with you with the flat brush. When I pull my flat brush this way, it's going to make a nice wide or whitish line. Where if I twist it, I'm going to make a much thinner line, right? So I want you to think about that as you're using your black to outline. This is going to make your trees pop and be our finishing touch. So if you aren't done with your twinkly lights at home, go ahead and pause the video. And if you are, I want you to go ahead, take a close look at what I'm doing right now first. I'm dipping in my black. And my paint, because it was sitting here a little bit, that acrylic paint wants to dry really fast. I'm going to start with my horizon line. And you'll notice I'm not pressing very hard. And I'm probably going to dip in that paint multiple times, right? I'm going to follow that horizon line, that background line, all the way across. I'm going to go around my trees. So did I sweat it if I had a little white showing? Nope, not at all. This is an opportunity. If you made a little mistake, you can turn it into a beautiful look. And I'm going to also have you create a trunk. Remember that line we made? That horizontal line that has curve to it? You bring that trunk down to it. It's going to help give it a realistic look. We'll go ahead. We'll go to our tree that's far in the background. And if you press hard or change the direction of that brush, you're going to notice that the outline gets either thicker or thinner. So you make that decision, artist. Okay. And when I get to my tree, my moon, sorry about that, friends. I press really light because I really want mine just to be kind of a sliver. My crescent moon. Some of you chose to make full moons, and that was A-okay. I'm going to go ahead, come down on my tree in my foreground and outline that as well. And we'll notice that our whole picture starts to come together, right, first graders? And at home, if you are a third grader doing it, you can go ahead and challenge yourself with a few extra details if you want to, or a second grader. But boys and girls, here's our winter scene, focusing on foreground, middle ground, background. Working on our artist tricks using simple shapes. Using the white of the negative space on the canvas, the white of the canvas to create our snow. And making a winter wonderland. Did you have fun, friends? Good. All right, thanks for joining me today.